Hi, everyone. In this episode of Take Charge Now, couples and money. But before I delve in too deeply, I want to be really clear. There is not a right or wrong answer. Do you commingle all of your assets? Maybe if it makes sense to you. Do you have separate bank accounts? That's okay too. But typically when you embark on a journey with another person, sure, you start out emotionally attached. And then as you get more serious and maybe things become more permanent, whatever that means to you, you start to grow your life financially as well. And so many people have asked me, Patty, what did you and Jim do way back when you got together? Again, this isn't for everyone, but this is what worked for us. So I'm going to get a little personal. The first thing we did is we decided to commingle our assets. We decided to do a net worth statement. We have been married 28 years and we have every single one of our net worth statements. With a net worth statement, we listed down everything that we owned and everything that we owe, and the net difference was what we were worth. And we decided that based on that particular document, we were going to set our financial goals. When you do your first net worth statement, you might be surprised as a couple. You may be better off than you thought. You'll start to see gaps. Ooh, that's an expensive credit card. We should pay that down aggressively. Maybe it's time to build up our tax-free savings accounts or RRSPs because we've managed to pay off all of our debt. You may have children and think, now is the time. I want to set up a registered education savings plan. You get where I'm going. Every year, we happen to do ours between Christmas and New Year's, we would do a net worth statement. From the net worth statement, we would establish our financial goals for the next year. I can tell you in the entire 28-year history that we've had, not a single financial plan that we put in place based on that net worth statement has come to fruition. But because we had a plan, when we did have financial detours or speed bumps, or life just dictated we needed to spend money on something else, I can tell you we knew where to take corrective action because we had the plan. So our first step was to do a joint net worth statement. Once we got very comfortable with that and our goals, then we decided to commingle our assets. We decided that one checking account was enough. One savings account was enough. We also made sure we had our own tax-free savings accounts, RRSPs, and investment portfolios, but they were always included on the net worth statement. Once we established that, we started to get really serious about an emergency fund. No one ever wants to have money sitting idly and not working as hard for you as you're out there working for it. But the point is, you need access to money when an emergency happens. We did have the roof leak. We did have the car breakdown. We did have, all of a sudden the plumbing that was associated with our washer and dryer completely exploded. And that meant a major renovation inside the foundation and outside. You get where I'm coming from. The emergency fund, you need it. But early on, we didn't have the money, 3 to 6 months living expenses set aside. But what we did have was a line of credit aligned to our home, so it was secured, and we had credit cards that we didn't use. They were solely for emergency purposes. We put these into place because when you need access to money, it's really difficult to get it. So we decided to set that up. So we've done our net worth statement, we've got our goals, we aligned all of our money. Then we thought about what do we do if we happen to get a bonus or any sort of gifted money? Well, here's what we've done our entire life. 50% went towards our mortgage. We don't have a mortgage now, but we certainly did, like many of you. 50% went towards the mortgage. 25% went towards home renovation and improvements, something that we knew we needed to do to keep the asset that was demanding most of our money up to date and current. And 25% we split in half and it was go ahead. That's your discretionary money. Do something that excites you. Do something that's going to give you pleasure. You may decide to save it. You may decide to spend it, but you're not accountable to anyone. But I will also tell you, we also had spending limits put in place in our household. We had a threshold, and if I think way back, it may have been $500. If either of us needed to spend money, we wanted to spend money, we didn't ask permission of the other person. Anything above $500 though, we did discuss it as a family. We balanced our accounts on a weekly basis. We had razor sharp precision on how much money we had coming in, what it was we were spending our money on, and we made sure things were equitable. I can also tell you, in the interest of disclosure, throughout our entire life together, Jim has always made more money than I did. He just always has. But he never made me feel like he made more so he could spend more. I did not, so I cannot. We made this a team sport. We got together, we got aligned, and we made things happen. Going through the period out there right now where there's a lot of anxiousness around the economy, interest rates are going higher, and we're getting into the spring season where a lot of couples decide that they're going to buy their first home together. They may be moving in together. That can create a lot of anxiety. But when you have a financial plan that's honest, that's true, that's full disclosure about your financial life, you get aligned, you get on the same page, and you start to build. And that's, from my perspective, the power of momentum.